Beneath the shimmering blue expanse of the West Philippine Sea lies a vast, untapped fortune, an immense reserve of oil and natural gas, hidden deep below the waves and the ocean floor. These resources have the potential to transform the Philippines from a nation heavily reliant on imported energy into one that is self-sufficient, powering its cities, industries and homes with its own natural wealth. Geological surveys and advanced seismic studies suggest that billions of barrels of oil and trillions of cubic feet of natural gas are waiting to be discovered and extracted, all within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, as recognized by international law and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. If harnessed wisely, this immense wealth could fund the construction of modern infrastructure, improve public services like education and healthcare, and create new opportunities that could lift millions of Filipinos out of poverty, reshaping the nation's future for generations. Yet, the promise of prosperity is tangled in a web of complex geopolitics and international disputes. The same waters that hold so much hope are also a flashpoint for international rivalry, where every survey ship and drilling rig becomes a symbol of sovereignty and national pride, watched closely by neighboring countries. The Philippines' legal rights to these resources are clear on paper, backed by international rulings, but enforcing those rights in the face of powerful opposition is a daunting challenge. The region's enormous economic potential is matched only by the risk of conflict, as military presence and economic interests collide in these contested waters. The challenge is not just technical. Extracting resources from the deep sea requires advanced technology and expertise, but also strategic, as the Philippines must assert its rights and protect its interests amid growing pressure from more powerful neighbors. The dream of energy independence, so vital for the nation's progress, is constantly shadowed by the threat of confrontation and the risk of escalation. For the Philippines, the stakes are nothing less than national destiny and the economic future of its people, a chance to secure prosperity, stability, and pride. The question remains, can the Philippines unlock this immense wealth and secure its rightful place in the region, without being drawn into a dangerous geopolitical storm that could threaten everything it hopes to achieve? The West Philippine Sea dispute is not just a regional issue, it's a dramatic clash between the established rules of international law and the sweeping ambitions of a powerful nation. At the heart of the conflict lies China's controversial 9-line, a boundary that claims nearly the entire South China Sea, cutting across the maritime zones of several Southeast Asian countries. According to the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, which both the Philippines and China have ratified, the Philippines is entitled to exclusive rights over resources found within 200 nautical miles from its coast, its exclusive economic zone, or EEZ. However, China's 9-line, rooted in ambiguous historical assertions, slices deep into these internationally recognized zones, disregarding the legal framework set by UNCLOS and overlapping with the EEZs of neighboring countries. In 2016, after years of legal battle, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague delivered a landmark ruling in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's expansive claims to have no legal basis under international law. This decision was hailed as a major legal triumph for Manila, affirming its sovereign rights over the disputed waters and setting a precedent for the region. Yet, despite the clear verdict, China outright rejected the ruling and has continued to assert its claims, deploying Coast Guard and maritime militia vessels to patrol and control the contested areas. On paper, international law is unambiguous, but out at sea, it's often the show of force and presence that determines who controls the waters, not legal documents. The ongoing conflict has become a crucial test for the global community. Can the rules-based international order withstand the defiance of a great power, or will might make right? For the Philippines, the legal victory is only the beginning of a much longer struggle. The challenge now is to transform these hard-won rights on paper into real protection and benefits for its people. Turning international recognition into reality means safeguarding resources, protecting fishermen, and asserting sovereignty in the face of constant pressure. The world is watching closely, as the outcome of this dispute will reveal whether international law or the use of force will ultimately shape the future of the South China Sea. The stakes are high, not just for the countries involved, but for the credibility and future of the entire international order. The United States has a deep and enduring stake in the West Philippine Sea, a region that has become a focal point of global attention and strategic maneuvering. While Washington officially claims neutrality on questions of sovereignty, its actions and rhetoric reveal a clear interest in shaping the outcome of disputes in these contested waters. The U.S. is primarily concerned with keeping the sea open for global trade and navigation, as trillions of dollars worth of goods pass through these waters every year, making it a vital artery for the world economy. To uphold this principle, American warships regularly conduct freedom of navigation operations, directly challenging China's sweeping maritime claims, and asserting that these waters remain international. These maneuvers send a powerful message: the South China Sea is not a private lake, and no single nation can dominate its vast expanse. The visible U.S. military presence reassures regional allies, deters potential aggression, and demonstrates America's commitment to upholding international law. At the same time, the U.S. seeks to counterbalance China's growing influence in Asia, wary of Beijing's ambitions to reshape the regional order in its favor. Central to this strategy is the U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty, a decades-old pact that means any armed attack on Philippine forces could trigger American intervention, raising the stakes for all involved. This transforms what might otherwise be a local resource dispute into a potential flashpoint between two global superpowers, with consequences that could ripple far beyond the region. For the Philippines, U.S. support acts as both a protective shield against external threats and a source of risk, as deeper involvement with Washington could also make the country a target in a larger conflict. The alliance raises the stakes, turning every maritime incident or diplomatic standoff into a test of resolve for both nations. The region has become a chessboard for great power rivalry, where every move is carefully watched and every miscalculation could have serious consequences. The Philippines now stands at the center of this strategic contest, its choices and alliances shaping the delicate balance of power in Asia. The critical question remains: can the alliance between the U.S. and the Philippines truly deter conflict and maintain peace, or will it inadvertently draw the country into a confrontation it hopes to avoid, putting ordinary lives at risk? The answer to this question will not only define the region's future, but also determine the fate of countless people who call these waters home. For the Philippines, the West Philippine Sea is about sovereignty, security, and survival. Leaders must defend national territory while managing relations with China, a vital economic partner and a powerful rival. Too much confrontation risks economic fallout. Too little invites domestic backlash. The issue dominates politics, with administrations swinging between appeasement and resistance. The stakes: energy security, national pride, and the country's future. Accessing undersea resources means navigating a geopolitical minefield. The Philippines must strengthen alliances, especially with the U.S., while keeping diplomatic channels with China open. Building up defense and Coast Guard capabilities is essential for deterrence. Every move is a gamble between prosperity and peril. The nation's path is fraught with risk, but the prize, energy independence and national dignity, is worth the struggle. The challenge: assert rights without triggering disaster. The outcome will shape the Philippines for generations. The world is watching. China's approach in the South China Sea is methodical and relentless. Through salami slicing, it uses Coast Guard and maritime militia to assert control, harassing foreign vessels without open conflict. Massive island building has turned reefs into fortified bases, shifting the military balance. Economically, China offers trade and investment as incentives, while threatening to withhold them from defiant neighbors. Its narrative frames actions as defensive, dismissing international rulings as foreign interference. This blend of military, economic, and information tactics steadily advances China's claims. The strategy: change facts on the water, one step at a time. Southeast Asian nations aren't passive in the face of China's power. The Philippines is deepening its alliance with the U.S. through joint exercises and base access agreements. It's also forging closer ties with Japan and Australia, who provide patrol vessels, training, and joint patrols. These partnerships create a web of security that complicates China's calculations. ASEAN, despite internal divisions, continues to push for a code of conduct with China, though progress is slow. Strategic hedging, balancing alliances and diplomacy, gives the Philippines options. Engaging multiple partners reduces dependence on any single power. The goal: a regional safety net strong enough to deter aggression and protect sovereignty. In this contested sea, unity is the best defense. The Philippines is weaving its own shield, thread by thread. The promise of oil and gas in the West Philippine Sea is stifled by geopolitical risk. International energy companies hesitate to invest where Chinese vessels threaten operations. Political uncertainty has frozen exploration in key areas, leaving resources untapped. Joint ventures with Western firms could bring diplomatic weight, deterring harassment. The 2016 arbitral ruling offers legal clarity but not physical security. The challenge turned legal rights into safe, profitable projects. Until stability is assured, investment will remain scarce. The flow of capital follows the tides of tension. The Philippines' energy future hinges on the West Philippine Sea. With the Malampaya gas field running dry, new sources are urgently needed. Rectobank could supply the nation's power needs for decades, stabilizing prices and fueling growth. Domestic energy would cut the trade deficit and attract new industries. Oil and gas revenues could fund vital public services. Energy security is the foundation of national prosperity. The struggle for these resources is not abstract, it affects jobs, electricity, and daily life. Securing them is a necessity, not a choice. The nation's future depends on it. The West Philippine Sea's future is uncertain, balanced between law and power. The likely outcome, tense coexistence, not resolution or war. The Philippines must strengthen alliances, conduct joint patrols, and build regional unity to deter aggression. Diplomatic channels with China must stay open to manage risks and seek cooperation. Resource sharing is possible, but only on terms that respect Philippine sovereignty. Securing energy wealth is a generational challenge, demanding patience and resolve. The presence of global powers will remain a stabilizing force. The Philippines' fate depends on skillful navigation of these treacherous waters, always striving for peace, but ready for any storm.